Explain this to me. How overt is China in pushing this stuff on college campuses? What I'm asking is there a group of Chinese commies smoking cigars somewhere, laying out the curriculum for Harvard's next semester just so they can manipulate that group of students? Or is this something where the professors, I mean, you brought it up briefly, are almost unwittingly teaching it anyway without even knowing that that's what they've been taught?
Right. No, the Chinese are much more sophisticated, more advanced. I mentioned on this show before in relation to war, they wrote a book called Unrestricted Warfare back in 1999. You can go Google it. It's free on the web by two colonels who are now generals. They said, we're going after you with an information war, economic war, ideological war. And that's what they've done. They've made friends and funded all of our elites. They fund the Wall Street Journal. They fund the New York Times. They fund the Washington Post, right? So when you have a regime, tyrannical regime over 1.4 billion people, all children of God, we don't have any problem with the Chinese people. But the CCP and the regime is tyrannical. And our major institutions are still funding and doing trade with them and making deals with them. With Biden, it's all back to his new triumvirate up there, right? The Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, Head of National Security, et cetera. It's back to the old ways of doing business. And it's clear China's going to be back in business. And so Trump was the exception, right? Were we going to stick to that new logic? That was the big test. That would have been a big devastation for China. But China, we'll find out the intelligence on the election as well. That'll be interesting. But it looks like they're back in play.
Okay, so going forward, let's assume for a moment that Joe Biden is going to be sworn in. Let's just make that assumption he is. Can he reverse everything Trump did with China, or are there some things that Trump did that are really going to stay no matter what?
Yeah, well, the supply chain issue and damage done due to COVID, and we saw the error of our ways, right? Finance 101 is diversify. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. We had all of our supply chains in China. So that part, it isn't going to be turned around completely, right? We're going to pull some of the supply chains back. I hope we move some of the supply chains to sub-Saharan Africa, which is the one region in the world that needs our help. They are the poorest of the poor, and we should make Judeo-Christian deals with them, right? Labor in exchange for capital and fair contracts for minerals, et cetera, that are transparent. They're very upset with the Chinese right now. So it's a perfect time for the U.S. to make some inroads and make some new relationships and friendships with sub-Saharan Africa. And so we have some openings, but yeah, China's back in play. They're going to come on full force. Big data, right? The big six big tech firms in the U.S., their market cap is bigger than the market cap of all European markets combined. Our top six firms are worth more than all of the European markets combined: Germany, France, Belgium, Netherlands, whatever, right? So if they decide to buddy up with China or share data or share backdoors or whatever, we need to keep an eye on that, because we saw what they were willing to do to a sitting president. And that should be your wake-up call. No matter what you make of the president, the fact that corporations are stiff-arming the head of this country is problematic.
Hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.